Welcome back, NFL Club 602, yelling and screaming. We got divisional weekend halfway over. As you can see, Sean, not here today. Our buddy Luke. Luke, thanks for filling in, man.
Of course.
We had two really interesting games yesterday for two very different reasons. Let's start in the AFC. The Denver Broncos defeat the Bills 33-30. The biggest story here might be Bo Nix, who is now not available. Man, I've been a Bo Nix super fan since he came into the league last year, Luke. Breaking your ankle and then running three more plays is gutsy. That is so cool. I don't have any words for Bo Nix.
Yeah, I think he's a really tough dude. I mean, he was running on adrenaline. He knew that game was won, but I don't think it matters now who wins this next game today. I think they're going to roll through Denver. Unless unless DJ Stroud wants to throw 3 picks and
which sometimes he does, right? I mean,
yeah.
Jared Stidham is at least a passable NFL quarterback, right? I mean, you're not the backup anywhere if you're good enough to start somewhere, but he knows that system. He is competent. I don't know if I trust the Broncos run game enough to give Stidham the time he's going to need to perform.
Yeah, I agree with you because Bo Nix led rushing yesterday. What do you have, like 30 yards? So that worried me. And it's not like the Bills' defense is great. And so that kind of was scary. I honestly thought the Bills were going to pull that one out. But, at this rate, good for the Broncos. You win a game in the NFL, especially in the playoffs, but they're cooked. They're done.
Well, and, the Bills almost did pull this one out, right? I mean, this game was done. And Josh Allen did Josh Allen stuff in the fourth quarter. He's also probably the reason they lost this game, some key turnovers. But that's kind of what you get with Josh Allen, right? I mean, 350 passing yards and 3 touchdowns and 2 picks. I mean, that's kind of who Josh Allen is at this point in his career. You hate to see questionable ticky-tacky kind of calls impact a playoff game. Obviously, we chatted just briefly before the show started. I mean, talk me through that interception.
Well, what I saw live was, Cook's going to the ground and the Broncos defender not even going to the ground, waited for Cooks to hit the ground, then pulled it away. I didn't really like it. I understood it when Sterator said it. I didn't agree with it, but based on what the rule was, I was just like, that should be a Cook, that should be a catch, but based on the rule, it just, they say it with so much conviction that it's like, do I believe this referee who's been doing this forever? But like, no, I saw this with my own eyes. Like, there has to be this is common sense, I still think, where, okay, Cook had clear possession, went to the ground. What move is he supposed to make? So.
And that's the thing. Like, if it looks to your eye a certain way, we have to do something with that. I mean, football was called without replay forever, right? And like when you watch old games, you like never see like a questionable call. Right. And the speed of the game has gotten more, and the detail on the high def cameras, like we're in a completely different era. I understand that. But like, I don't know, feed the play to AI. Is this a catch? Spit it out. Like, at least then, like, I know it's unbiased, right? And I know it's not backed by like weird like preconceptions of what a catch is. Cause like when we were kids, right, that's when this catch bullshit started. You remember the Calvin Johnson catch in the end zone in Chicago?
Like, yeah, that one. I mean, he had 2 steps, then he put the ball down. Like that, even the Des Bryant one was questionable. Like, I still think that Cowboys probably would have lost that game. They scored too quickly, but come on, like both of those were catches. I would rather have the players make the plays rather than a referee make a judgment call, because you can kick a 75-yard field goal in Mile High. So they were already in field goal range at that point. I mean, not really, but it just it sucks. But that's the NFL,
And that's kind of like, it sucks. It's a playoff game, right? McDermott was mad.
Yes, he was.
Which I think is fair, right? And oh yeah. But it's what you want to see from your coach. It's what you want as that fan base. Sean and I talked last week. Like, does Josh Allen, does Buffalo need a Super Bowl win to validate these Bills teams? And I made the argument that they don't, right? Like, what Josh Allen getting a ring changes nothing about his legacy in Buffalo. But nationally, the Bills can't get over the hump, right? Like, Mahomes was the only thing stopping him. Well, now Bo Nix beats him, right? And he's lost to Lamar. And it's like, Burrow. Like, so is that fair? Is that a fair way of thinking about it?
Well, I'm not a huge McDermott fan. I think he's kind of bland. But I agree. I think his legacy is already established in Buffalo. He's made them relevant. Without him, they don't get there. I mean, so if they draft Sam Darnold instead, they're not in the playoffs. They're not, they're not making waves. I mean, what other they could have Josh Rosen. Yeah, that would have panned out real well for you. So I just don't know. The Bills need help on defense a lot. But they don't. Cooks looked amazing, and he's 35 years old. He was their best receiver. They need some. James Cook is amazing. They need a little bit of help. They need a number one wide receiver. Like, if they could have got Devontae Adams or something like that, I think that would have been the difference maker.
They had a number one wide receiver, right? And he's going to rip it up today. I mean, like, I'm not sure they're one piece away, and some of your key pieces are aging. I mean, they just squandered a James Cook season for the ages, right? Yeah. Running backs get old really quick in this league. Does he have it again?
The thing is, the way they use him, he doesn't get beat up, and that's where I don't want to pivot, but it'll be interesting to see if Montgomery leaves Detroit, if the Lions can do that with Gibbs, because Cook doesn't take huge hits. I mean, he does sometimes because he's smaller, but he was averaging 8 yards a carry for the first half yesterday. And then they stopped giving him the ball, which is asinine, but they got it. He's just so, I don't know how he does it. He just makes some holes. He's so patient, but I like Buffalo. I think they're just a team that you can buy into. I kind of like the small market teams. Their fan base is great, but their window might be closing too, because I don't see, the Patriots, Houston, Denver, they're not going anywhere. So Superman's going to put the team on his back.
Yeah, and you think about the traditional powers, right? The Chiefs just had their worst season they're probably going to have under Mahomes.
Yeah.
And the Ravens definitely had the worst season they're going to have under Lamar. So, I mean, everybody gets a little bit better. The NFL is so tight. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to try not to laugh while I say it, but like, eventually the Jets are going to turn high draft picks into performance. Like, this 20-year window of just ineptitude, like, it has to stop eventually, right? Like,
you would think. I mean, what did I see? They're going to draft Cardinal Tate from Ohio State. Don't know if I necessarily like that. I think he's a freak, but what does a receiver get you at this point? So, I mean, you don't have a quarterback that can get him the ball, but you're not going to get.
Tua's going up there, right?
It'll be interesting to see what the Dolphins do with their head coach. Are they really going to bring in Hafley? I mean, that's kind of, he had an interview today or something. So I think it was. I'm not a huge believer in getting defensive head coaches. I think you have to have an offensive mind, but I'm also a believer that if you're an offensive head coach, you need to bring in an offensive coordinator, because you need to delegate jobs. LaFleur was great when he had Rodgers, and he's fine with Love, but he gets so caught up. He makes boneheaded mistakes or, play calls. I think,
really
Shanahan doesn't but he's got so much support on the defensive side. McVay doesn't make many mistakes, but you're not going to always have coaches of that caliber. I honestly think Mike McDaniel would be a great just offensive coordinator. Just don't give him the head role. He's so creative. Look what he did with that Dolphins.
You stick him up in the booth, man, and he's going to cook up something crazy. So I'm in.
And people buy into his play calling. He lost the locker room. That's what they were saying. You know, I was reading a report that he was trying to be their friends rather than be the leader. And yeah, that's the easiest way to lose 30-year-old guys is, you know, your goal there is to win. And Miami hasn't been relevant, you know, for a while. So, but what a great place to be. I don't know why you'd ever try to mess that up, but I don't know if Miami's going to go all in on something like that, but I think McDaniel will be a great offensive coordinator. I saw the Falcons hired Stefanski. So but he hasn't done anything.
I don't know what the Falcons are doing, man.
I thought Morris got the short end of the stick, really. I thought, you know, the way that they were playing at the end of the year was they could beat anybody. They really could.
Well, they had so many injuries too, so.
Yeah, I think Penix is a mistake. I think Kirk Cousins is your better quarterback there, as it pains me to say, but he gives you a different element where you actually have to honor the passing game. When you have Kyle Pitts and Drake London, you can chuck the ball around if you have to, but you don't even need to. Bijan Robinson, I think, is arguably the best running back in the game.
He's electric.
He's Barry Sanders-esque to me. Like the way he can put his foot in the ground and cut is crazy, you know, and that's not taking anything away from Jahmyr Gibbs or Saquon Barkley or James Cook, but they can't cut. Even Saquon, I think, commented on how he is the best cutter in the NFL, and that takes a lot.
Breaking ankles, man, it's crazy. He's big too.
Yeah, crazy to think he went to Sal Point Catholic down in Tucson.
Shifting to the NFC side, we had a very different outcome. Still entertaining. The Seahawks laid the wood, man, to the Niners, 41-6. They led from the 14-second mark and never gave it up. They were up 17-0 before San Francisco really had a drive.
It was about to catch up with the Niners. You know, it's losing Kittle, I think, was just demoralizing for them. Then McCaffrey had the stinger. Then their backup tight ends got hurt. It's just, I give them a ton of credit. I think this goes to Shanahan and Saleh. I think Saleh is one of the best defensive coordinators out there. I mean, you lose Fred Warner, you lose Bosa, you're cooked. You know, you're done. And they didn't back down. I mean, being the 5 seed or whatever they were, 6 seed, going in and beating Philadelphia, I give them a lot of credit. But the Seahawks defensive front they can just plug holes, and the Niners couldn't use McCaffrey the way that they had all year.
I read an article, and the internet's been fighting about it for weeks. The fact is that the 49ers have a disproportionate amount of soft tissue injuries versus every other NFL team. The theory, there is a electrical substation by the practice fields at Levi Stadium that give off low-frequency EMF fields. And they're measurable on the practice fields. And at least in concept, EMF can destroy collagen. So the theory is that the EMF field next to their training facility is why the 49ers are constantly hurt. And when I first read it, I'm like, well, this is bullshit, right? But they are always hurt. Everybody. This team is so injured all the time. Like, I'm starting to think there might be something to this.
We'll find out in 10 years, won't we?
Right.
You know, now they're going to, you know, I could see it, but at the same time, I mean, McCaffrey was pretty healthy the whole year. But it was crazy to me. Ayuk couldn't come back, you know, so, you know, he came back and then all of a sudden got hurt again and then went psycho. I don't know. But like, it sucks because I think that roster and that defense is I think Fred Warner's the best linebacker in football. And then you're just not the same. And so I think the Seahawks right now are, I don't know if you can go into Seattle and beat them. And I think, and not just me being a Packers fan, I don't think the Bears can. I think the Rams could, just because of Puka and Devontae Adams, and they have a good defense. But the Seahawks are going to put up points on the Bears defense. The Bears defense isn't great, but Caleb Williams magic. But going on the road to do it, I think changes things rather than being at Soldier Field. I like the Seahawks to make it to the Super Bowl now. I really do, just the way that they played. I just never count out Matthew Stafford. I think he's the MVP, I think, this year. So, but good kudos to the Niners. It just sucks to, good, you get to draft 27th or 28th now,
I think for me, I question the Seahawks all season. They are now beyond question. But the big thing that I wanted to know is when the chips are down, what happens with this run game? Because Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet together were an elite level running back. But they always seemed to manage their carries in a way where I can't point at the guy and be like, this guy is a 1, right? It was 1A, 1B, or 2A, 2B. Charbonnet gets hurt and Kenneth Walker explodes. So I'll eat the crow on that all day. Now Seattle has arguably the best running back left in the playoffs, and he's rested because he's only had half the carries all year. They can lean on Walker for an entire game.
Yeah, and when you throw 5-yard outs at JSN, that doesn't take a lot of toll out of your running back either. So their passing game can scare me at times, just because I think the next team that they play, if it's the Rams, they can get pressure on Darnold. I don't know if the Bears can without blitzing. And Darnold is okay against the blitz if he has an elite wide receiver, but he had Jefferson in Minnesota, got the ball out fine. He's got JSN. Yep. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do. Walker looked like a man on a mission yesterday. He looked faster than I think I've seen him look in a long time. And he was on my fantasy teams for years. And I'm like, come on, give him the ball. Nope, Charbonnet touchdown. Sweet. It was – I think Kenneth Walker he's very underrated. I'm sure he actually was on some winning fantasy teams for people this year, because when Charbonnet went down or was getting banged up, he's fine. He was getting 15 points a game. I don't know. The Seahawks, I think, come out of the NFC. They're just having home field advantage, the 12th man. To me, that's my pick out of there.
I just had to look it up because I thought we were getting close to the time, and we are. Kenneth Walker's a free agent after this season. This dude is going to have 200 yards rushing against the Rams. He's going to put it up, man.
The Seahawks can't let him walk. I think they got cap space.
If I'm his agent, man, I am just sending him video of his big runs from yesterday over and over. We just got paid.
Yeah, the Seahawks have $70 million in team cap space for next year.
Oh, so he's staying.
Yeah, you don't let him walk out the door. Here's your signing bonus. You can play on veteran minimum for the next 5 years, but here's $80 million up front. We don't care. So
I love the NFL. It's so stupid the way the money works.
Yeah, I was reading how the Cowboys can save $80 million this year, and I'm like, yep. Okay.
It's all funny money, man. Some teams do it really, really well.
Not the Saints.
They did for a long time. It caught up with them. Those Drew Brees contracts, he's getting paid literal pennies. And he just ate dead cap for 10 years after he retired. The dude's going to go in the Hall of Fame. They're still paying dead cap. Who do you think here's how I want to preface this. Sam Darnold has not been asked to do much this year. 12 for 17 for 124 and a touchdown, right? He has become the quintessential game manager for this Seahawks team, where his safety release valve is one of the best wide receivers in the league. who matches up better in the secondary against this Seahawks team? Is it the Rams, or is it the Bears just got torched by Green Bay? Because the Rams haven't looked good either, right? So is there like a piece that you can think of that you've seen that would work better or worse against the Seahawks offense?
See, I like the Bears secondary. I really do. I think Jalen Johnson's great, but they can't get any pressure. And any quarterback, I mean, a top 20 quarterback is going to be able to, I would say Jordan Love's a top 15 quarterback, just because he can chuck it, but it's because of who his receivers were. I mean, when you had Tucker Kraft out there, he's ultimately a great tight end, but I like the front seven of LA, but I don't
Jared
like their
Verse
secondary.
is nasty, man.
He's great. I just don't like their secondary as much, but I don't like the front seven of the Bears. I don't think if they get down 21-3 to the Rams, they're cooked, because McVay is not going to take the foot off the gas. He is going to let Stafford just keep chucking it to Puka for 18 catches and 250 yards and 4 touchdowns, where LaFleur is like, okay, we've got this controlled. Let's call 2 stupid play calls and see if we can get bailed out, by a 3rd and 8. No, McVay doesn't do that. Stafford's not going to do that. Stafford's a little bit, he's just he's an elite quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback to me. I think the best chance to beat the Seahawks is the Rams. I think just because it's a divisional opponent, anything can happen in those. Obviously not with the Niners, but I think the Rams can go in and beat anybody on any given
41-6 is anything, right? Anything did happen. That's an asshole.
I think the Bears had 10 fourth quarter comebacks this year, or 9, which I wouldn't say that
8 of them. It's insane.
I wouldn't say that offense is elite by no means. So it's just, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think the Bears did get dinged up pretty good, I think, last week with injuries. Losing your middle linebacker sucks.
Yeah.
So I think that the Rams are going to be able to run the football a little bit with Kyron, or use him the way that Stafford does. You run your freaking Z route, and there you go. Make the backup linebacker, or that corner that the Packers were picking on last week, make them miss a tackle. And then, I don't know. I honestly don't like either of the teams, but I think the Rams have the best chance just because it's a divisional opponent. Hard to beat a team 3 times, something like that.
Yeah. So let's talk Rams Bears, right? Since we're kind of poking all around it. The other key injury for the Bears, other than Edwards, was the left tackle. Trapilo went out with the knee. He's done for the year as well. You have a young quarterback, right? Losing your left tackle is not great when Jared Verse is on the other side of the ball. The only thing I think works in the Bears' favor for that is that they tend to move the pocket anyway. Caleb Williams has a lot of horizontal movement, regardless of whether or not it's a rollout. He doesn't stay static in the pocket very often. I'm very concerned, though, because you're on backups, right? And these are all NFL players, but you don't have the starting job for a reason, right? So it's a downgrade in some sense. I don't know the Bears' offensive line intimately enough to tell you what sense, but what I do know is that you have Jared Verse on this side, and if you don't double Verse, he's going to get in. And you got Byron Young on the other side. And I'm not sure the Bears are equipped for that kind of pass rush. They give up a lot of pressures. They give up a lot of QB hits. We don't even have to get into the Rams' offense necessarily to see kind of the game flow here. Now, if they're within 15 points in the fourth quarter, guys, like, anything could happen, but they have to get there. They have to be within 15 points to come back.
Yeah, it's supposed to be cold, but I would say just because of Stafford's experience, I don't think a cold weather game is going to affect him as much. I would say that he probably actually has the leg up on Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams played in Oklahoma and USC. He's played 1 or 2 cold games. It wasn't cold when they played the Packers last week. It was 38 degrees or 35. That's not cold for these players, So it's going to be 8 degrees today down there, 10 degrees. You can't forget Kobe Turner on the Rams either, but I think they're going to move Verse around a little bit in this game and say, okay, you're going to play the strong side of the field because Caleb Williams isn't going to outrun him. He runs a 4.5 40. So, the Rams need to contain him and make him step up in the pocket because Caleb hasn't shown that he can really do that well. He is great when he's moving out. He can throw some absolute passes, but I don't know. I think the right tackle was struggling last week, for the Bears at home. That line is in trouble. And that's not the Rams defense is not who you want to see. Yeah, or the Seahawks in 2 weeks if you have to play them. They're not who you want to see because those defensive interiors are going to blow you up. So, and the Seahawks are the best run defense, I think, in the league. So, the Bears like to run the ball. I think that's what they're going to have to do today if they want to be successful. They didn't do it last week against a bad Packers front, but they have to get Swift and Monangai going if they want to be competitive. I mean, they burned 8 minutes off the clock in their first drive and got 3 points. They have to stick with that because if they don't, the Rams could go down and score in 3 plays. I don't know if
Very
a corner
explosive.
I don't know if a corner can match up with Puka Nacua. I mean, you can put him in the slot, you can put him outside, you can put him in the backfield and he can run 65 yards for a touchdown. He's just too electric for me. I just don't know what they're going to do. And their Gardner Johnson got hurt. So they had that one guy who was getting toasted all up and down the field in the second half. It'll be an interesting game. I don't count the Bears out because I think Ben Johnson is going to put him in positions, but they cannot start slow. They can't settle for field goals. They got to go fast.
Quentin Lake won't be as bad as he was against the Panthers. He should be fully healthy now. But you lose Witherspoon in that secondary. So I think there's space in the defensive secondary for the Rams for Odunze on some of those crossing routes he runs or Loveland. I don't expect Loveland to have the kind of game he had last week, but now some of those intermediate routes in the middle, the Rams are a better tackling defense than the Packers are. So he's not going to have all that yak like he did last week.
Yeah, they're a different style. They're going to play more man. I think Cam Kitchens is going to play down in the box a little bit more. But the Packers are a bend and don't break kind of defense. Mm-hmm. The Rams are a little more aggressive. You can beat them on a big play, but they're going to get you. So I like their style. I'd rather be aggressive on defense. And if you get beat, you're professionals. It happens. I mein, Darnell Savage somehow got back in the league yesterday and got toasted on a touchdown, for the Bills. So I think it's going to be a good game. I'd say like 30 to 25, 26 would be, somewhere in that. It's going to be a weird score game. I just have a feeling like somebody's going to miss an extra point. It happened last week. Somebody's going to miss a field goal. Somebody's going to go for 2 for no reason. And you're going to get some weird number.
Yeah, just non-traditional numbers.
Yeah.
Rams are 3.5-point favorites right now. It's juiced to hell. That might move 4.5 by kickoff as the Bears fans get woken up and start betting. Total's at 48, which I'm sure has more to do with the weather than anything else. I think you're probably closer. 60-ish points in this game sounds reasonable. The Rams are so explosive. I mean, they have my vote for MVP this year at quarterback, and he could hit anybody. But then it's like, oh yeah, well, Puka is not anybody. He is a phenomenal route runner. He is so fast. I'd like Adams to get involved as well. You just can't put a lid on this Rams offense with what the Bears are trotting out there.
No, and if the Rams get on the 5-yard line, Devontae Adams is catching a touchdown. He is still arguably one of the better route runners, and as good as Jalen Johnson is, he's going to match up on, okay, who do you pick? You go line up on Puka on this driver. The backup, whoever, is not going to be able to no, Devontae's going to catch a back shoulder fade or a out for points. It's going to be like clockwork when they used to do it in Green Bay all the time. It's like, oh, where's this ball going? So
it's unstoppable.
I would take the over. I don't think I would touch the spread. I really don't. Especially if it gets up to 4.5. NFL's got a funny way of always making that a 2 to 3 point. And if it's 3.5,
right.
I wouldn't touch. If it was 2.5, I would take a field goal, but 3.5, I'm not touching.
Yeah, you don't build casinos being wrong. It's weird. It's weird how close those lines are sometimes. Moving over to the other side with the injury to Bo Nix, the winner of Texans Patriots might be your AFC champion. This is the early game today. Currently sitting Patriots -3, total at 40.5. This Patriots team has been a lot of fun to watch this season. Obviously, Drake Maye kind of coming into his own, looks very capable on this team here. I'm not sure if I can boil this all the way down to CJ Stroud against Drake Maye, because I don't think it's fair. What I said to Sean last week is I thought CJ Stroud would be the reason the Texans lost that game. He was not. He made some of the mistakes he usually makes, but by and large, he executed very well. The Patriots defense is better than almost any defense the Texans have played this year, but the Texans defense is outstanding. They are so good, so disciplined, and I think it's going to take everything Drake Maye has to keep the Patriots in this game. But having said that, I think they get up early. I think this is like a low-scoring first half, and then it kind of grinds out.
I don't know. I thought the Patriots at the beginning of the season were kind of posers. I'm like, they haven't played anybody. They're squeaking these out. But then they got Travion Henderson rolling. And then the last couple of weeks, they stopped giving him the football again. And so it's like, what are you guys doing?
It's like Belichick shit.
Yeah. And it's, he is ultimately the most explosive running back. I mean, you have two good backs there. You do. Ramondre is still good. But give him the ball on the one. But anything 20 to the 20 to the opposing 40, let Henderson go. He's going to bust one. I was trying to see if Nico Collins was cleared today. I think he was still in concussion protocol, but I don't know. Christian Gonzalez is back for the Patriots, so that kind of stops that. I think it's going to be a boring first half, just like you said. It's going to be all good. It's 10-6. Patriots go out and score right away in the second half, be 17-6. Stroud does something stupid, throws a pick or fumbles. But then they'll nickel and dime their way back.
Out.
He's out there. I think this is a Patriots lock. They don't have those rookie receivers are good for the Texans. They're just not good enough. That sucks. That really does suck for the Texans. I mean, I think you had to honor Nico doing anything deep, short. I still think the Texans defense can keep him in it, but Drake's not going to give them free points like Rodgers did, and Rodgers doesn't give free points to people. I think he's only got 5 pick sixes in his career, which is kind of crazy, or 4. I don't know. I think this is a Patriots lock to me without Nico Collins, and I wouldn't be surprised if under 40.5 hits.
I'm with you. I think this one is going to be the low scoring game. I think it stays close. These defenses are kind of similar schematically. The Texans are really, really good. I think you can slow down Drake Maye, but Diggs is going to get open eventually. And that's all it's going to take to take the lid off of this. And in a low scoring, cold game, a 10-point lead is huge, right? I mean, if you get into a 2-score game, that could get insurmountable really quickly.
It's supposed to be
Especially
35 in New England today.
damn. That's practically summer weather.
Yeah, there. But and no wind, 5-mile-an-hour wind. It's maybe some light snow, but this game I feel is going to be the snooze. I think the Bears and Rams game is the game of the day. Um, I hope I'm not wrong because I don't want to stay up late and watch a 10-6 Bears Rams game. But I want this Texans and Patriots game to be a good game because I do think the Texans are in a team of the future. I think with their defense, and I think they just need. I mean, imagine Tank Dell back on this Texans offense with Nico. There's just Stroud kind of regressed a little bit this year, but there might be an injury or something going on that we don't know about. I mean, he was just looked so good, not really last year, but 2 years ago now. But I don't know. Watch this game will be 40-45 now that we've said this.
Right. So
But-
what's your pick here? Do you think Stroud can do enough with the Texans, or with the injuries they have? Is it all Patriots?
Yeah, not without Nico. I was going to pick the Texans with Nico, but I just can't trust them. I think Will Anderson has 2 sacks today. I really do, but that's not going to be enough. I think it'll be a Broncos Patriots AFC Championship.
What, the narrative writes itself, doesn't it? With Stidham.
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
that's the NFL, man. The script's already written.
The thing is, though, I kind of rooting for the Texans here because I think the Texans can go into Denver with Stroud without Nico and beat the Broncos, and I think they would give you a good Super Bowl. The Patriots could lay an egg in the Super Bowl, and just because I don't think their defense is as good, they're good, but I just think that this Texans defense kind of reminds me of that Broncos defense where Peyton Manning didn't throw the football ever. So,
God, that team was so good.
if the Texans can get up, if I was the Texans, I would take the ball and I would try to go score and put the pressure on May.
I
don't think
play
you can
clock. Just feed Woody Marks and bleed the clock out.
Yeah, I think you can't be passive and say, hey, we're going to play this. We're going to defer for the second half. I don't think you can do that because if you're down early, you're screwed. But I'm rooting for the Texans. I hate all Boston sports teams with a passion. So I'm cheering for the Texans, but I think the Patriots get it today.
Yeah, I'm running through like different game flow in my mind, and the overwhelming majority of them, the Patriots win. I think if the Texans can score early and just hold them at bay, I think there's a path there, but it doesn't seem like one of the likely paths to me. Give me New England, something like 27-17. Just kind of score early and hold that buffer all game. Don't really run away with it, but
over the 40 points, probably. I mean, truthfully, if I was the Texans, what I would do is Jalen Noel is fast. I would take a shot with him on that third string corner out of the slot because, like, if you go up early, like they did against the Chargers, what was that, week 17? All you got to do is hold on. Your defense is going to hold on. They're not going to give up a bunch of points. So, I think you saw it too is I thought actually the Steelers would give a good fight, and they did, truthfully. If you don't have that fumble and the pick six, that game was closer than it really looked.
Yeah, they played hard on defense, man. I was very impressed.
And I don't think the Steelers are a great team by no means, so I just this Texans team is just resilient and they wear you down. And all of a sudden, one turnover turns into the floodgates opening, and that's where they get you. They can score on special teams. They can score on defense. I want this to be a great game. I really do. So, yeah, I think the Patriots by 6 is probably realistic.
So if we wipe the slate, from all the picks we just made, what is your ideal Super Bowl matchup? What's the game that would be the best product on the field that you want to watch out of the teams that are left?
The offensive line is so bad for the Texans. I would have said the Broncos I'm not a big I'm not a big Broncos overall fan. With the teams that are left, I think a Rams-Texans Super Bowl would be pretty fun to watch. But ultimately, I think a Seahawks-Texans would be also fun. If we're going to do something crazy, a Bears-Broncos would be kind of fun.
That's what I was going to say. Bears-Broncos with Bo Nix, I think would have been a really cool game. Just gunslingers, man, like Brett Favre-esque.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Surtain would have probably trapped Caleb into throwing a pick late in the game, which would have sealed it. I think and the Broncos get after you. I don't know if Caleb would have been able to run around with those linebackers and,
Dude, Benito's so fast.
He is so fast. But truthfully, before all of this happened, I was really going the Bills in the Super Bowl was kind of what I was looking for. I wanted to see Josh get there. But with who's left and knowing, I think the best game is going to be the Patriots and Rams, unfortunately.
Yeah,
you're going to get some scoring. You got decent defenses. Like there, that's you got. Even though I think Vrabel's a very mediocre coach, I think he's good, but he's not elite. I mean, you only have one elite coach left in this, to me, and that's McVay.
I think that's very fair. Yeah.
I don't just do they deserve it? No, they don't. The Rams.
I mean, if you go through Seattle, this Seattle team, I think you deserve it at that point. I think if anybody, Bears or the Rams, right? If you go to Seattle and beat this team with what we've seen this season, you can have it, man. Like that's a huge game to win.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is then you got to play you got to play in California, right? So I mean, it's a glorified home game for the Rams.
That's fair.
But it doesn't. Super Bowl's not really a home game for anybody. It's the spectacle. So I don't know if that even plays into they sell the same amount of tickets per whatever. It's all corporate at that point. So I don't know.
I think if anything, like if the Niners had made it, right? Like just the familiarity with the building, with the locker room, right? Like your game day preparation is only skewed by the nonsensical circus that is the Super Bowl, right? But then once you're in the locker room, like your game day is close enough to the same. But yeah, I don't know if it matters for anyone else.
Fans don't get loud enough for it to matter.
Well, real fans can't afford to go to the Super Bowl, man. Good Lord.
Yeah, the lowest ticket is what? What's the lowest ticket? $5,000?
Just to get in and freeze your ass off at the top of Levi Stadium.
Is that let's see, how much are Super Bowl tickets? Yeah, $5,983.
San Jose is so cold, man. Like we went for a Pac-12 championship game, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, and that was in December, and it was freezing cold. I can't even imagine like the dead of winter.
Which is crazy, but that game starts at 5:00, so you got the marine layer that's going over, so the sun's pretty much gone. So it was probably 70 degrees that day, and then it feels like you're back in Chicago, with a light breeze off the ocean. No, pass on that. I'm good. If no, it's not.
I'll watch on TV.
Yeah, see if there's any good commercials, which they're turning it around.
Yeah, it's been better. It's been better like the last 2 seasons.
So who do you have? Who's your ideal Super Bowl?
Ideal would have been Bo Nix Broncos and the Bears. With what we have now, I think I'm with you. I think seeing this Texans team in action on the biggest stage would be really cool. So give me the Seahawks on the other side. Because if the Texans are going to do it, I want them to play the best. I think the Seahawks are the best team left. So give me Texans and the Hawks.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting next week too. Do you see Sam Darnold at what he was with the Vikings, where he just got pummeled and blitzed all day long and turns the ball over, or do they control him where he can go 17 for 25? I just don't know. I think
if it's the Rams, we have game film, right, from this season, and we know. If it's the Bears, I don't know that they can generate enough pressure for it to matter. I think his stat line, if they're playing the Bears, is so pedestrian, it makes your eyes hurt. But I think with the Rams, there's the potential for him to throw for 300 yards. Like I think Darnold's upside against the Bears is like 170, and that means they won, right?
Yeah, because they handed the ball off 30 times to Kenneth Walker, who ran for 200 yards.
Yeah. So I think his statistical game would come against the Rams, but I think if he has to throw the ball 40 times, the Seahawks lose the game. So if I'm a Seahawks fan, I want to see Darnold throw less than 20 times, because it means you're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I don't know if I would have thought the Seahawks would have been the team to come out of the NFC when we start this year. Right. It's just, with all the question marks, and you're just like, they're bringing Darnold in. Is this like a Geno Smith move to Oakland? Is this where you go to die? No, Darnold played fine. I mean,
my dad's buddy is holding the Seahawks futures ticket. It was like 85 to 1. Like over the summer, it was like June or something. And like, man, I would have hedged out of that ticket. Like when they got to 10 wins, I would have sold that to somebody, because they ain't no way. But now you're 2 wins away. Yeah.
I mean, and I would say I like your chances, truthfully. So, I mean, if you have an 85
betting favorite,
if you put $100 on that, you just hold on to it. I'm sure they're offering a cash out, because I'm sure Vegas is like, crap, they are the best team. Let's give you $4,000 so you don't make 8,500 bucks. But
and the second best team just lost their quarterback. So
yeah, I mean, the thing that I thought Denver was going to run into, though, is I don't know if you can have 12 comeback wins in a season and say that you're, an elite team. Like, they didn't really put teams away. They had some bad wins. Like, they should have lost some games.
That's something we talked about with the Bears, right? Like, it's not sustainable, right? It can't happen. You can't be down double digits in 7 games in the fourth quarter and win them year over year.
Yeah,
but in season, I mean, it's part of their DNA for this year. Like, they know they can. And so kind of the same thing with the Broncos, right? Like, obviously everything changes with Bo Nix gone, right? But the DNA of this team, the culture of this team this year, with an unsustainable stat like that, is sustainable for this season, right? They can win close games. They can not put away teams. But with Bo gone, I mean, Sean Payton says Stidham's good to go, but that's coach talk. That's bullshit.
Yeah, if you can't run the football, like if they would have ran the ball well yesterday, I would have been like, okay, maybe he can get you through the next game, and then watch him fall apart in the Super Bowl. But Bo Nix I just looked. He led rushing with 29 yards. You can't.
They had like 57 rushing yards total.
Stidham's not going to be able to do what, and that was the crazy thing. I was watching that game yesterday, and watching Josh Allen, I feel like the game slows down so much for him, where he was caught dead to right, pocket closed. He steps up, makes one move right, 17 yards right up the field, trucks Hufanga. He's not scared of anybody. Like,
He's fun
He's
to
the only
watch.
quarterback. He's the only quarterback that can do that. Lamar goes. He's just more, twitchy. But Stidham's not going to run like Nix can.
Mhm.
So Drake Maye's not going to run. Stroud's not going to run. You have pocket passers left, except Caleb. I would say, even though I would say Caleb doesn't like to run, I think he doesn't want to. He would rather sit in the pocket and throw, or get out in the pocket and throw. But Stafford's definitely not running, even though he is probably the fastest man left in the NFL as a quarterback. So I think if his rushing yards was at 1, I would take the under. So
yeah, because even if he falls forward one play, he might be taking a knee, man.
yeah. But I think this is a really cool year for the NFL. You don't have any teams you're like, man, I freaking hate them. I think everybody was done with the Chiefs. I think, I don't think people want the Rams to win, but they're fun to watch.
Mhm.
So it's not like people hate them. They're just like, crap. McVay's there. They're always going to be in games, but I wouldn't be mad. I just, with the teams left, I think the Bears are probably the worst team that are there just because of their injuries. I think with Roquan being there, I think it would have changed things, but it's just so hard, of those 8 that are on the screen there. You flip a coin on any given day.
Yeah, it's been a good season. It's been a good playoff. There's nothing like the NFL, man. There's no sport like the NFL, and it's king for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, I was very pleased to switch. I was very pleased with the college football playoff this year. And I think Monday is going to be a rout. I think Indiana is the best team, but you don't get the parity. You don't get 10 seeds going through. You don't get, where the NFL, you can have a 7 seed go and win 2 games. Like, I think that's the cool thing, where it's more on any given Sunday is actually a real thing, where you don't get that in college. That doesn't happen very often. So I think the next 2 days are going to be fun to watch football. Be prepared to have 4-hour games, but it's why I could care less about the season. I don't think the season sometimes is fun. I think Vegas, sometimes I'm conspiracy on this. I think they control lines, but I think in the playoffs, I think they're like, okay, these are actually our best teams. Let them go play.
Yeah, let it happen naturally.
Let it just happen naturally. Let these teams screw up, or whatever. So I think today's gonna be fun, and it's nice that they're earlier games. I think that is I think this Patriots Texans game at 2:00 is going to be
2 Central.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great kickoff to Sunday. So
yeah. Well, hey, Luke, thanks for popping in today, talking some playoff football. Me and Sean should be back same time next weekend to recap these final games here and get into the conference championship. On your screen is a QR code for the Yelling and Screaming shirt that it goes directly into Sean's camera fund. So we don't have the colors popping on Sean's camera. So if you like the show, support the show, don't want to see Sean's shitty camera anymore, buy a t-shirt. Otherwise, if you are in the Phoenix Valley area, we have a happy hour at Santan Spirit House in Chandler tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Hope to see you all there. Otherwise, Luke, thank you again for joining us. And this has been Yelling and Screaming.
Happy
Peace
Sunday.
out, y'all.
See ya.
Hell yeah. It's going to be a great Sunday.
Yeah.